Welcome to NJP Mathematics. Let's solve the lovely jam partial fraction here on the board. We are asked to find the value of P and Q, and on the left hand side we can see that the numerator is x minus 3 and the denominator is x minus 1 all multiplying x plus 2. And on the right hand side we have the addition of two fractions. The first is P all over 1 minus x, and the second is Q all over x plus 2. We can see that the LCM here is 1 minus x all multiplying x plus 2. So we'll multiply through by 1 minus x all multiplying x plus 2. And if we multiply through by that, on the left hand side it will be x minus 3 that will be left after multiplying x minus 1 minus x and x plus 2 by x minus 3 all over x 1 minus x rather and x plus 2. We can see that 1 minus x will cancel out 1 minus x, and the same thing will occur to x plus 2, and what will be left is 1 minus x, and that is how we got the x minus 3. So if we still do the same thing by multiplying the whole denominator of the left hand side here to the right hand side, we'll see that it will be 1 minus x and x plus 2, which is multiplying p all over 1 minus x. And if that happens, 1 minus x will cancel out 1 minus x, and what will be left with is p, which is multiplying x plus 2. So this is what we have here to be p into x plus 2. And if we still multiply through by 1 minus x and x minus 2, multiplying this second fraction which is added to the first we've already obtained, which is q all over x plus 2. The value we are going to obtain here is q, which is multiplying 1 minus x. So this value here is what will be here after multiplying through by the LCM. So now we can clear the fractions off. So if we clear the fractions, we have x minus 3, which is equal to p times x is px, and p times 2 gives us 2p. And if the same thing goes to the second bracket here, we have q times x is minus qx here. So we can see that there are values with the unknown x, and there are other values which does not have an unknown. So we equate the ones that has unknown and equate the one without unknown. So if we equate it, we have x, which is equal to px minus qx. Since we see clearly that the ones with unknown are x, px and minus qx, this gives us equation number 1. So those without unknown is minus 3, which is equal to 2p plus q. This gives us equation number 2. So from equation number 1, which we have x, which is equal to p x minus qx, we can divide through by x to eliminate x from the equation. So what we'll be left with is 1, which is equal to p, since x will cancel out and x will still cancel out, and we'll be left with q. So this becomes our equation 3. So if we consider equation number 2 and 3, which is equation number 2 here is minus 3 is equal to 2p plus q, and equation number 3 is 1, which is equal to p minus q. So we can see that here that q here has different sign but same coefficient. The coefficient of q in the first equation is +1, and the coefficient of q in the second equation is -1. So from here we can eliminate q by adding both sides. So if we add both sides, we are going to have -3 plus 1, and -3 plus 1 will give us -2. That is to say, minus plus is minus. 3 minus 1 is 2. The sign of the greater number is 3. So we have -2 here, which is equal to 2p plus p. 2p plus p. This is p to 2 plus 1, which is 3p. So we write it here, 3p minus plus q minus q. This goes up. So what we are left with is 3p is equal to -2. So we divide through by the coefficient of p, which is equal to 3. So if we divide through by the coefficient of p, we are going to have that p equals -2 all over 3. That becomes the value of p. So now from here we can equate the value of p into one of the equation, and we have the value of q. So let's equate it into the second equation we have here, which is equal to 1, which is 1 is equal to p minus q. So since we have p, let's make q the subject of the formula by transposing. So if we do that, we are going to have that q is equal to p minus 1. What did we do there? 1 is equal to p minus q. So we took q to this other side, and since it has a negative sign, when it goes to the left hand side, it becomes a positive q, and p is already on the right hand side, and when 1 we take it to the right hand side by transposing, since it's a positive sign, has a positive sign on the left hand side, when it goes to the right hand side, it becomes -1, and that is how we obtain that q is equal to p minus 1. So from here we can now substitute the value of p, which is equal to -2 all over 3. So q will now be equal to -2 over 3 minus 1. So from here clear the bracket here and take the LCM. So if we take the LCM, we can see that the LCM is 3, and since the LCM is 3, we have -2 and the minus sign, which is already there. Since this is 1, which is still the same thing as 1 all over 1, 1 go into 3 will be 3 times. 3 times of 1 will be 3. So q will be equal to minus 2 minus 3, which gives us minus 5 all over what? 3. Therefore, PQ equals P negative 2 over 3 and Q, which is equal to negative 5 over 3. Therefore, the value of P and Q in this partial fraction becomes negative 2 over 3 and negative 5 over 3 respectively.